She wants to change the subject to worship. And I think it's interesting, Jesus doesn't change the subject back to the husbands. Why does he let that go? Why does he just go with it? What do you think?
Well, there's nothing that she can do to change the past. And at this point, he is more interested in teaching her that salvation doesn't come from being on a mountain. Salvation comes from being connected to him in spirit, to be, and then he's hinting at the Holy Spirit that will be to come. And so her issue, just like anybody's issue, is not necessarily the things at hand or the things you think are the issue. The issue is the heart. The issue is, where is your heart? And if you get that heart correct, then from that point on, all the good fruit is going to come from that good heart. So Jesus says a good tree produces good fruit. And if that tree does not have a good heart, it's not going to produce good fruit. So you could do all sorts of like behavioral modification to try to change your fruit and all of that. But the truth is, it flows from the inside out. So he is talking about what's going on in her heart. And he's talking about that living water coming up from inside of her, which will then emit the fruit that comes. That's mixing a lot of metaphors, but that's how I see it.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. And I think, is it James who puts those metaphors right side by side? You know, the mouth that speaks is like a well, a freshwater well, and then the fruit on the tree, you know? And so I think, yeah, like Jesus is calling her back to the source. Like the source, I love it that you said she cannot change her past, but he can change everything about her story. I love how you use the word restoring. You know, he can restore her life, and it can happen right here and right now. And you know, in your fictional retelling of her story in The Day I Met Jesus, you called attention to this little line that he is seeking worshipers. What do you think? I mean, that is just so compelling. How do you think she heard that?
Well, I think as a Samaritan, she had been dismissed in basically saying, you're not worshiping him right, or you're doing it incorrectly. And yet he's saying, I'm just seeking worshipers. It's not on this mountain. It's not on that mountain. I am seeking people who worship the Father. And because that's what he did. He worshiped the Father, and his life was a living sacrifice to the Father. And so he's basically calling her to that kind of discipleship of worshiping the Father. You don't have to go to a physical place to do that. You can do it right here at this well.
This is all just kind of changing in this moment in history, right? Like we're getting rid of it's the new covenant is being unfolding right before their very eyes. And Jesus is having a very important conversation with this woman, which just, I mean, I think we have to, again, call attention. He's elevating her. He's elevating a woman. He's elevating a non-Jewish woman by even having this conversation with her. So let's